Just breaking earlier today, the Disney board will help Josh D'Amaro, new CEO, decide whether or not Jimmy Kimmel stays or whether he goes. And no, it will not be decided by head of TV Dana Walden. We've got the latest info and we'll tell you why. This time it's different on the other side. It's a groovy day. It's a great day, folks. Thank you for coming our way. The studio is shining every time we get to share time with you. Let's dive in right now. A PhD level of understanding into what's really going on at the House of Mouse. No tuition required, for you are on scholarship. Click the like button and off we go. And it's breaking news. The Disney board is gonna choose what happens with Jimmy Kimmel. This out of Reuters, by Reuters. Says Disney chair says CEO will rise to the occasion in Trump-Kimmel spat. What an interesting headline. Let's see what's under there. What's underneath, folks? It says it's the job of Walt Disney's new CEO, Josh D'Amaro, and his team to decide the group's response to the row between the White House and ABC late night host Jimmy Kimmel. Disney chairman of the board, James P. Gorman, said on Tuesday. U.S. President Donald Trump said on Monday that Kimmel should be fired by ABC and its parent Disney, joining his wife Melania in calling out the talk show host for remarks made prior to his shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Kimmel said on Monday his joke about Melania Trump, in which he said she had a glow like an expectant widow, referred to the difference in ages of the First Lady and her husband. Disney's board chair on Tuesday said large companies from time to time face these kinds of issues to resolve. Jonas, I don't recall Pepsi or Coca-Cola or Home Depot or McDonald's doesn't often respond to these kinds of issues. Why is it that Disney must respond to these kinds of issues? Why do these issues keep arising for the Disney company, Jonas?
Well, I mean, Pepsi, I'll say during the 2020 era, companies like Pepsi kind of just turned over and showed their belly and said, we'll donate to whatever organization you tell us to, as long as it's got a title that we can't disagree with without being called racist. You know, they don't really get into this stuff because they don't have a news media organization. The other thing is they agree with the statement over there at the Disney company, it seems like, and they're only apologizing because they have to, you know, and I guess if they must in order to keep their broadcast license.
Well, I mean, who exactly apologized here? Because Kimmel certainly did, and he doubled down.
Exactly.
Right. And we'll get there in just a moment. Places like Daily Beast are calling it that Jimmy Kimmel went nuclear. But listen to what the director, the board of directors, the chairman said about this decision. Are you ready? Mm-hmm. Disney's board chair on Tuesday said large companies from time to time face these kinds of issues to resolve. But here's where we get to the important thing. Quote, it is the job of the CEO and their team to figure out the right answer, and they will be guided by the board. Continue the quote, he says, we have a terrific new CEO, Josh D'Amaro. He's world-class, so I'm sure he'll rise to the occasion and do what the right thing is, as if there is something to be done in the future, which I don't think is sitting silently. But here you have it, folks. James P. Gorman says, a CEO in such a situation, one would presume this is such a situation, that they will get it by the board. Who runs the board? James Gorman. And he declines in this article to say what the board is going to recommend to Josh D'Amaro to do. No mention of Dana Walden, by the way. That's interesting, eh? Jorge Bonilla has this out of X.com. Kimmel defends the joke. Folks, we'll play as much as we can. It's not much because Disney will hit us with a copyright. But here's Jimmy Kimmel from Monday night responding to the hoopla around his hurtful commentary.
So on Thursday, 3 days before the event, in order to keep that cherished tradition alive, I did my own version of the Correspondents' Dinner on...
We're trying, folks. We got to pause for a minute. Just blah, 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 okay? Disney, don't get us.
My show. I put on a tuxedo. We pretended we had an audience of luminaries. We used old footage.
He pretended he had an audience.
Pete Hegseth, J.D. Vance, Kid Rock, Vanilla Ice, all the members of his cabinet. And we made it seem like they were all...
You know, that's interesting. This is how he's handling things, making fun of the administration. After the weekend, he's not done a show. He's done nothing since a third attempt to take the life of the president.
Together in a room, we had a little roast. Again, this was Thursday, and there was no big reaction to it until this morning when I greeted the day facing yet another Twitter vomit storm. And
Twitter vomit storm is Melania Trump, the first lady of the United States, calling for him to be removed from ABC because of what he said about her husband. This is what
because yes, he is not calling for for violence, but he is making people laugh at the idea of the president's death.
Right. He wants Trump to be gone from the earth, but he's not calling for violence. No,
he's trivializing it.
Yeah. He's pretending like he didn't say what he said. Like, we heard what you said and we know what you meant. He's trying to say
everybody.
Fire me from our first lady, Melania Trump, saying I should be fired because of a joke I made, again, 5 nights ago. It was a pretend roast. I said, our first lady, Melania, is here. Look at her, so beautiful. Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow.
So he said it again.
Yep.
This is the double down. We'll play more of it, folks, but first I want you to see how this is being reported. The Daily Beast, which is aligned with somebody like Jimmy Kimmel, says defiant Jimmy Kimmel goes nuclear on Trump and Melania 2 days after their lives were put in danger. Defiant Jimmy Kimmel goes nuclear. Yeah, we said it the George Bush way. It's funny that way. This is how it's being reported by the folks who support Kimmel, right? And it's very interesting, too. CNN is covering it this way. Brian Stelter, who was attacked by Kimmel in the same show for daring to say that Kimmel had went astray. Brian Stelter reporting Kimmel pushes back on Trump, calls for his firing in first major test for Disney's new CEO. So Brian Stelter, as of 3 hours ago, at the time of this report, Brian Stelter is still saying Disney's got a decision to make. We'll play more of the Jimmy Kimmel clip, but first I want to go to the panel.
Just to point it out, this has also been reported extensively on thatparkplace.com and geeksandgamers.com, which is where you guys should be getting your news, not the Daily Beast or CNN.
There you go. But we do have to go to those places to show how they're reacting since they're aligned with Kimmel.
I'm just saying to the people at home, don't go to the Daily Beast.
But
sure.
I'm concerned about the framing here, because this responsibility, while ultimately could land at Josh D'Amaro's feet, the person that should be on the hook for this is probably one of the people that made it so he could keep his job, Dana Walden, who's now the creative content chief or whatever made-up title they made up for her made-up position. She's getting paid more money than the CEO. She should be the one on the hook for deciding whether or not this dude's fired, honestly.
Well, sure. I mean, she and Bob have put them in the spot. But Jimmy Kimmel doubled down, tripled down. Kada, as we'll get ready to play more from him, this is not at all what you would expect from late night after an attempt on the life of the president. This is angry. It's defiant. And, I mean, you can look at his face, and I told people this on the Pro Show when we covered this live. You can see in his face, he actually looks angry. His jaw is tight. He's got that, I mean, we didn't just freeze frame this, knowing, okay, here's the exact frame, we get the thing like they would do to Elon. This is how he appeared the whole night trying to get through this. He's angry.
Yeah, and all it does is it does what we were saying earlier. It's stroking the flame. It's just calling for more violence while he's not doing it. Like, the dude just almost got, offed again, and you're going to make a joke to the wife like, oh, looking like an expected widow, when people are actively trying to do that to him. You know what you're doing. You're trying to skirt the lines. And no matter how you try to reframe it, everybody knows what you mean by that. So I don't know. I don't even know why. First of all, I don't even know why people pretend that Jimmy Kimmel is even funny. All right? He's not a funny guy. And then on the second thing, it's like when you look at it and you just listen to how he's trying to manipulate it right here, he knows exactly what he's done, and he knows that people know that. That's why he's talking around it. He's beating around the bush pretty much. That's all he's doing with this situation.
Let's go back.
This is the second time he's been in this situation in recent months with the Charlie Kirk thing. He had to over-explain himself again. And his answer on this is not, I wasn't trying to say it's because her husband was going to be assassinated. I was trying to say she's a gold digger. Like, what? What?
Yeah,
Is that better?
You're full of bro. It's like, literally, you're a liar. You're a liar.
Right, here's more of the liar.
Which obviously was a joke about their age difference and the look of joy we see on her face every time they're together. It was a very light roast joke about the fact that he's almost 80 and she's younger than I am.
Very light roast about the president dying. Very, very light roast. It's a very light roast.
It was not by any stretch of the definition a call to assassination, and they know that. I've been very vocal for many years speaking out against gun violence in particular, but I understand that the First Lady had a stressful experience over the weekend, and probably every weekend is pretty stressful in that house. And also,
so had a stressful weekend because somebody wanted to maybe kill her. But it's stressful every weekend, you know, because you're married to that guy. We'll just remind everybody, Disney's got a decision to make. James P. Gorman, head of the board, says there's a decision that's going to be made. Board's going to advise Josh D'Amaro, who's CEO of Disney. And at the same time that you got that going on, as there's a decision to be made by the board, being reported that Jimmy Kimmel goes nuclear by those who support him and support what he does. So we'll see. Disney, how are you going to handle the nukes? We'll see. It's going to be very interesting indeed. I know. You want more. You want more of the Pro Channel, folks, but we've got to head out the door for this video. But fret not yet, for more content is yet on the way. 3 times a day, thrice as nice, right here on the Pro Channel. Oh, what's that you say? You want more than that? Fine, we'll do 4. 4 videos. Well, yeah, that's happening. Folks, as you get ready to go, consider clicking the like button for us. It is a huge help. Also, like, share, subscribe, and click it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. We would also love it if you could drop on down and give us a comment. We love hearing from you. And although we can't respond to every single comment, we often are reading them indeed. Folks, we would encourage you to consider subscribing to our partner channels, that Park Place, that Game Place, and that Pod Place. We love them all. We think you might too. Until the next time we have the joy of joining with you, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.